Hello, does everyone hear us? All right, so we're gonna start soon. We're gonna just wait another few minutes before we start, so in case anyone wants to pop in before that. All right, hello everyone, and welcome to your District Fundraising Initiative webinar. We just want to thank you guys all for joining us today, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. My name is Erica. I'm your Kiwanis Family House ambassador. And I'm currently a second year at UC San Diego. I'm an international business and Japanese studies double major. And for me, a fun fact is I recently came back from Japan.
My name is Christine, and I am helping Malika out, who is the ambassador for American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. But I am Five Funds Outreach Executive Assistant. I'm from UC Riverside, majoring in Economics/Administrative Studies. And fun fact, I was voted best driver, one of two, of my home club this past year. Oh my gosh, now it's Shira's turn.
Hi, my name is Shira. I'm a third year at UC Berkeley studying bio, and I'm serving as your PTP ambassador for this year. My fun fact is that I've seen over 100 celebrities in person. So now we're going to go ahead and get started with our DFIs. So for those who don't know, our DFIs for the 2017-18 term are the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, the Pediatric Trauma Program, and the Kiwanis Family House. So first, we're going to go ahead and get started with the Kiwanis Family House with Erica.
All right, so what is KFH? KFH is your Kiwanis family house. So in Sacramento, Kiwanis Club gathered together and decided to start this home that not only provides temporary housing and support for families who have seriously injured children or adults being treated at the UC Davis Medical Center or Shriners Hospital in Sacramento, California. Its founders are Vern and Leona Bright of Southeast Sacramento Kiwanis, and it opened on July 23rd, 1984. Its Sacramento location is currently its only location, but they hope to branch out in the future. So who is eligible? Any families who have members, whether they're kids or adults, and are receiving medical assistance at either UC Davis Medical Center or Shriners Hospital, but also lives outside of Sacramento, 35 miles or more, and are also referred by the UC Davis Medical Center through either their medical staff or a social worker. And did you know that the average guest stays at the KFH for 3 days? However, they can also stay up to weeks and up to months. It varies from guest to guest. So how can you support the KFH? So there's multiple ways that you can support it. First is fundraising. So you can do food fundraisers, wake-a-thons, participate in March, etc. There are endless opportunities to fundraise. With the money that you fundraise, you can either do direct donations, choose to sponsor a room or family. With sponsorship, you essentially allow a family or a specific room to stay longer, and you help financially support them. You can also buy what they call a brick. So in the Kiwanis family house, on their patio, they have many bricks that are engraved with the donators' names and or their organization, and that way you'll always be a part of the Kiwanis family house. You also can donate their wish list items. Every month, the KFH posts a wish list of needed items at the house, such as Kleenex, towels, or food, and it changes from month to month. So just check back frequently, and you can see what they need for that month. You can also volunteer if you're in the Sacramento area from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. They need various volunteers to help the staff in serving the needs of the guest families, such as answering the phone, various duties around the facility, and anything that they need at the time. To volunteer, all you have to do is call 916-736-0116 to schedule any volunteering time. You can also spread the word. So using hashtags such as #KFH or #Kiwanis Family House, when you're hosting an event that supports the Kiwanis Family House, not only brings attention to the Kiwanis Family House, but also the Kiwanis Family House itself will be able to see the different events you're hosting for it. So the Kiwanis Family House is more than just a place that provides housing for its guests. Their accommodations also include a fully equipped kitchen, food and clothes closets, laundry machines, internet access, spiritual counseling, and so much more. In addition, they are also a central location for Kiwanis family clubs in the Sacramento area. They have a designated conference room that holds GBMs, DCMs, banquets, service projects, Key Club Conclave, and more. In addition, the Kiwanis Family House is also a home away from home for a lot of their guests. So guests can, like I said before, they stay from 3 days to weeks to months, but it's not always just a one-time visit. Some families have visited the Kiwanis Family House to stay at for 17 times in about like 7 years. So these long-term guests not only come back to the same place every year, but they kind of become an extended part of the Kiwanis family and vice versa. It really impacts a lot of families that can't afford to stay in hotels or motels and have a place that they're able to come to and have that support from the Kiwanis family. So for the Kiwanis Family House, there's actually a lot of resources that you can find online if you don't know either what the Kiwanis family are, what they do, or you just are curious about who they are and the different stories that the guests have. One thing that you can do is you can actually go to their website and look up the Kiwanis Family House Talk. This is a monthly newsletter that they either post on their website or send through email, and it features guest stories, the executive director column, president's message, a calendar of upcoming events, sponsor club news, and wish list items. This is a great way to keep up with what the Kiwanis Family House is doing and also see how you can help. Their website in general, KiwanisFamilyHouse.org, is also a great resource to use because they post information about different events that they're having, news, stories from their guests, and additional resources such as how to donate, how to help, and contact information for their board. So specific Kiwanis Family House contacts that you can shoot an email to if you have any questions about the Kiwanis Family House are Dan Germain, who is the current executive director of the Kiwanis Family House, and there's his email there. There is also Charlie Bussey, who is the operations manager, and Rita Germain, who is not only the House Talk editor, but she also manages their website, email, and social media. If you have any other questions about the Kiwanis Family House, feel free to let me know or wait until the very end when we ask for questions. And then now we have the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention.
All right. So this DFI is actually a new one. So I will do my best on behalf of Malika to introduce it to you guys. So what is AFSP? The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is the nation's leading nonprofit organization dedicated to understanding and preventing suicide through research, education, and advocacy, and to reaching out to people with mental disorders and those impacted by suicide. While AFSP is headquartered in New York, it has local chapters in all 50 states with programs and events nationwide. So now that you've been introduced to AFSP, here's some background information and what they've been up to. Since its founding in 1987, AFSP has mobilized and connected tens of thousands of people who have lost a family member, loved one, or friend to suicide. They have reached thousands of individuals who are at risk for suicide, as well as those who love and care for them. They have also attracted the participation of members of the scientific and clinical communities who conduct groundbreaking research on suicide and its prevention with support from AFSP. And they educated hundreds of local communities about suicide and how to prevent it. So with that background, to really give a hand and help other people, you should know some things about suicide first. There is no single cause to suicide. It most often occurs when stressors exceed current coping abilities of someone suffering from a mental health condition. So below are some statistics to help you get a better understanding of the impact of suicide. So suicide is the 10th leading cause of death in the US. Each year, 44,193 Americans die by suicide. For every suicide, 25 attempts. Suicide costs the US $51 billion annually. And these are a lot of numbers, but if you just think about it and let it set in your head, you're like, oh my gosh. But don't worry, you can help by educating yourself more. So here are some suicide warning signs. These are symptoms people with suicidal thoughts may exhibit. So we have put these into 3 categories for simplicity. with the first category being about what people talk about. So if a person talks about being a burden to others, feeling trapped, experiencing unbearable pain, having no reason to live, and or killing themselves, these are warning signs of suicide. The second category focuses on behaviors. So if they exhibit behaviors such as acting recklessly, withdrawing from activities, isolating themselves from family and friends, sleeping too much or too little, and or visiting or calling people to say goodbye. And the third category focuses on moods. So if a person displays one or more of the following: depression, loss of interest, rage, irritability, humiliation, anxiety. So with these warning signs, if you come across someone who shows these, then you maybe should ask, like, how are they doing? Yeah. And now the risk factors, characteristics increase the chance a person might try to take their life. The risk factor on the bottom left, an environment where there are prolonged stress factors, such as harassment, bullying, relationship problems, or employment, exposed to another person's suicide as a risk factor. One is pre-existing mental health conditions, such as depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, anxiety disorders, and or antisocial personality disorder. And the third risk factor that we'll be talking about today is if they have a history of previous suicide attempts and or family history of suicide. So how to support AFSP? I'm sorry, can you give me like 1 quick second? I need to plug in my computer. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm okay. So what you can do to support AFSP? In the Out of the Darkness walk. And these walks are proof that when people work together, they can make big changes in the world. They are AFSP's largest fundraiser. They produce millions of dollars for suicide prevention programs, unite those who have been affected by suicide, and create communities that are smart about mental health. Collaborate with local AFSP chapters. With local programs and events in all 50 states, AFSP's chapters are at the forefront of suicide prevention. They create a culture that's smart about mental health through education, research and advocacy, and support for those affected by suicide. And lastly, you can fundraise. Oh my gosh. And these are some suggestions, some ideas that you could do for AFSP. You can make and sell AFSP bracelets or self-care kits. You could sell packaged food with informational flyers about AFSP attached to the food. Or you could hold a walkathon. And that's pretty much it about the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. And Malika's contact information will be at the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions, let her know.
All right, now we're going to talk about PTP, or Pediatric Trauma Program. So what is PTP? So the Pediatric Trauma Program was started by the CNH Kiwanis District in 1994. Soon after, they decided to focus on pediatric care as a group. So this program was developed so they could raise awareness about the dangers of pediatric trauma, in addition to educating doctors on how to provide proper treatment to children who have gone through traumatic experiences. So one statistic that you may have heard before is that the leading cause of death of children under the age of 14 in the United States is pediatric trauma. So you may be wondering, what is pediatric trauma and how is it defined? So pediatric trauma is defined as any sudden unintentional physical injury to a child. So examples of this include car crashes, falling down the stairs, riding a bicycle and crashing, drowning in a pool, and pedestrian injury, such as when a child is walking across the street. So as you can see, many of these cases can be prevented through education, awareness, and the use of appropriate safety equipment. So for example, in car crashes, if you use a child seat and you use your seatbelt, it can definitely decrease the chances of a child undergoing any physical injury. And for example, in addition to that, like riding a bicycle, if a child is wearing the proper protective equipment on, such as a helmet, elbow pads, knee pads, that would also significantly reduce the chances of them undergoing any injuries. And you can also use like safety gates to prevent children from falling down the stairs or falling into a pool and drowning, as well as teaching children proper pedestrian safety, such as looking both ways before you cross the street. And yeah, so PTP has 6 partner hospitals that we have established since its founding in 1994. So these hospitals are found all over the CNH district. There are locations in San Diego, in Oakland, Loma Linda, Madera, and in Honolulu and Reno. So as you can see, they're a wide, they cover like a broad geography of our district. So if you ever want to donate like any safety equipment or any funds that you raise or like thank you notes, make sure to send them to our partner hospitals at these locations. So how can you support PTP? There are several ways. So the first is by making PTP dolls. So oftentimes children are unable to describe or explain where they're feeling pain or what like discomfort they may be experiencing. So these dolls are given to children staying at our partner hospitals so that they can point to where they're hurting on the doll. And the dolls also come with several markers so that they can serve as a distraction for the children so that they can draw on them to relieve them from like any boredom like during their long stay at the hospital or from any pain that they may be experiencing from whatever trauma or injury that they sustained. So in addition to making PTP dolls, you can also hold a variety of service projects. They can range from writing thank you notes to your local firefighters and policemen, as well as thank you notes to the staff and the nurses at our partner hospitals. And you can also hold a used toy drive to donate to children. Just make sure that these toys and like stuffed animals are gently used and clean before you donate them. There are also a lot of tabletop service projects that you can do, such as writing get well notes to the children or drawing coloring pages for them and making copies of those pages. And you can also submit these to any of our partner hospitals for the patients staying at them. So if you have an idea for a service project, but you're not really sure how to get started or you need a little help, you can also apply for grants that are offered through the CNH Foundation. The link is found on their website, and these grants can be used to host your own original service project that is related to PTP. The only thing is that there are several criteria, 2 of them being that this cannot be a fundraiser and that it must be an original service project. But other than that, you're free to use the grants as you see fit in order to help you host your own event. And lastly, you can support PTP by attending Crazy Competition for Infants North or South, depending on which half of the district that you reside in. So Crazy Comp North will be held on October 7th, which is a Saturday in Sacramento, and Crazy Comp South will be held in Stanton on October 14th, which is also a Saturday. So all the funds raised through this event are donated to the pediatric trauma program. And if you haven't heard of Crazy Comp before, it is the first district event of the year or of the term, and it allows you to relive your childhood by letting you participate in a series of games and relay races and compete in teams to see which team will emerge victorious. So you can relive your childhood by playing all these games while raising money for an amazing cause. So why would you not go to Crazy Comp, right? So make sure if you're interested in attending to contact your board members at your home club and let them know since registration is currently open. So you can either sign up to join a team, you can sign up to be a judge, or you can just be a spectator and you can just watch the action without being a part of it. So you may be wondering, what is the money that we raise for PTP used for? So the money is used in several ways. So first, funds are used to purchase safety equipment for children and their families, and this includes helmets, protective gear such as knee pads and elbow pads, safety gates, car seats, and outlet protectors. And in addition, funds are also used to provide medical training for doctors because the anatomy of a child differs greatly from the anatomy of an adult. So doctors require specialized medical training in order to provide the appropriate care that they need for their pediatric patients. And lastly, funds raised for PTP are also used to provide grants to our 6 partner hospitals so that they can fund their own pediatric trauma projects and their own outreach awareness programs, and also so that they can purchase specialized medical equipment that is used to treat pediatric patients staying at the hospitals. So now, take out your phones.
All right, so if you guys have heard of Kahoot before, so we're going to be playing a little multiple choice game to just kind of test your knowledge if you were listening during this webinar. So there's going to be a pin on the screen, and what you're going to do is you're going to type in kahoot.it onto either your computer or your phone, and it'll ask you for that game code, and then you just type it in, enter your name, and then just wait for everyone else to also log in. We'll start in a minute or so. Go ahead, let us know in the chat as well once you're ready. Okay, so we are going to start in a few seconds. Get ready. Okay, the first question is, pediatric trauma can be prevented by? Oh wait, we are gonna restart the Kahoot because we realized there's the delay between the live stream and the Hangout. So give us 1 second. Okay, so while we're trying to figure out Kahoot, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns about any of the DFIs, feel free to go ahead and post it in the chat, and we'll just start answering some for now. Any questions at all? Okay, so I think we figured out Kahoot, so we're gonna go ahead and switch over and we're gonna restart. All the questions being posted in the chat right now, we will answer at the end. Okay, we're going to start in a few seconds. So for those of you who haven't played Kahoot before, essentially what you're going to get on your screen is going to be 4 different colors. Each one is going to match up to the answer on the screen, and there will be a time limit, so do it as fast as you can. And then there will be a question, and then click the correct answer, and you'll get a certain amount of points. And whoever has the most points at the end will win. A hug and a high five from me during Crazy Comp. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Yeah. Oh, sorry, there's the delay again. My bad. Okay, so next one. So Sienna is currently in the lead, followed by US. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, so question 2. Suicide is the blank leading cause of death in the United States. Sorry for the lag, guys. Bear with us. So suicide is currently the 10th leading death in the United States. So in the lead, we have not Shira, then we have Sienna, I Love the DGov, Melody, and Evan. Question number 3. Which of these are the correct warning signs of suicide? So the correct warning is talking, mood, and behaviors. On the scoreboard, we have not Shira again, then followed by Nick, Sienna, I Love the DGov, and Melody. All right, moving on. Question number 4. Crazy Comfort Infants is a district fundraiser that raises money for which DFI? A few more seconds. All right. It raises money for PTP, Pediatric Trauma Program. So scoreboard is still not Shira, Nick, followed by I Love the DGov, Melody, and Emmanuel. Question number 5. Our PTP partner hospitals are located in all of the following places except San Francisco. All right, let's see the scoreboard. So it is still not Shira, followed by Nick, Melody, Wayne, and Sienna. Good job, guys. Keep it up. Okay, question number 6. Where are the AFSP headquarters located? It is located in New York. So scoreboard, now we have Nick, Wayne, Sienna, money, dollar sign, and then followed by not Shira. Okay, question number 7. Of the 2017 to 18 DFIs, which is the newest edition? The American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is currently our newest addition to our DFIs this year. Scoreboard is Wayne in the first place, followed by Nick, money / dollar sign, Sienna, and then Mana Bonbon. Mana Bonbon. Am I saying that right? All right, question number 8. How many days does the average guest stay at the Kwani's family house? Wait, Bonnie Bonbon, like my Bonnie Python? All right, so the average guest stays for 3 days. Okay, scoreboard is money, dollar sign, Nick, Sienna, Mana Bonbon, and I love the D-Gov. Question number 9. Which of these methods can be used to support the Kwani's family house? All of the above. You can donate wish list items, fundraise, or spread the word. All right, let's take a look at our scoreboard. So it is money, dollar sign, Mana Bonbon, Nick, Sienna, and Al-Nev. I'm so sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. All right, so last question. Question number 10. Where is the Kwani's family house located? It is located in Sacramento, California, and it's currently its only location. All right, this is our final scoreboard. So in first place, we have a dollar sign, followed by Mana Bonbon in second place, and in third place, we have Nick. Good job, guys. 9 out of 10 for all of you. Okay, so now we are going to go into Q&A. So we did have some questions from earlier when we had our technical difficulties, and let me go ahead and pull up these questions. All right, so the first question that we had was, so Evan Sum asked, what other fun activities will be at CrazyComp? So CrazyComp will have various activities. So not only will we have the different games for the teams to play, but we'll also have food and some other events. If Shira or Christine want to touch upon it.
There'll be a fun PTP workshop and people, friends. Woo! Go to CTI.
Okay, so you will also be able to meet people from the district in your designated area. So people in NorCal, you'll be able to meet people from other divisions, and the same thing in SoCal. Next question we have, will there be food sold there? So there will be food, but we are still disclosing that information. We'll let you guys know as the time comes. Another question, I know Lawrence already answered this, but can I visit the Kiwanis family house anytime to volunteer? And that is yes. So with the Kiwanis family house, all you have to do is just call that number. They'll fill you into a slot, whatever works for you and for them. And that's it. There's no complicated, like you have to be Kiwanis family or Key Club or Circle K. Anyone can volunteer at any time. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead and put it in the chat and we'll answer it as we go. When should I send the DFI money? Which DFI are you sending money to? Okay, so for the Kiwanis family house, you can send the money at any time. So if you go to the Kiwanis family house website, there will be a button that either says donate, where you can either send it by mail or you can send it through PayPal or credit card.
If you meant like submit all of them at like FTC or at DCon for club, then that's where you submit them. I was past treasurer last year, and I didn't donate funds directly to each DFI. Instead, I wrote a check and gave it to our district treasurer at those events. So I hope we answered your question one way or another.
Also, if you guys need any clarification about other stuff that we talked about throughout this webinar, feel free to let us know. We'll clarify as best to our knowledge. So specifically for CNH fundraising awards, you can bring checks on site at FTC and DCon. CNH Kiwanis staff will direct all the money to the organization. Thank you, Lawrence.
Thank you, Lawrence.
All right, so if there's no more questions, we will move on. Any last minute questions? All right, so thank you for coming. Make sure to sign in at tinyurl.com/DFI webinar 17. There's also links in the live chat as well. But yeah, thank you for coming. My name is Erica Wei. I am your Kiwanis Family House Ambassador, and you can contact me at exway@ucsd.edu, or you can also call or text me at 916-616-5399.
I'm not Malika, but that's her information. If you have if you have questions about the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, right there. And that's Shira's contact information. If you have questions about the pediatric trauma program.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Thanks for watching, and we'll hope to see you guys at CKI North or South. Hashtag go to CKI.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.